In strategy games, healers, supports, and debuffers are really important characters, and that's why in Stories of Convallaria, there is plenty of options when it comes to how to properly build your team and what characters to use depending on the situation. Today I want to talk about the character that a lot of people are not building properly and they are misusing her, and that's going to be Nightingale. Now, saying misusing or not properly building her, of course, is kind of a stretch because you can build the characters however you like. But a lot of people will see Nightingale and they will see her basic skill and they will assume she is a healer. But the reality is that what she excels at is being a debuffer. Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi. Today's topic is going to be Nightingale, a really good debuffer for free-to-play players if you have no other options, and even for low spenders like myself. She is on my list to build, but first I need to build Ballista, Lash, and Tempest. So there's a lot of characters to test. I'm going to be talking about Nightingale today. She is on our spreadsheet if you want to check her. If you go into the watch her page, she is in here already with her build and what she does. Website, by the way, it's finally back up after almost 3 days of fighting with hosting. I finally got it today to work. So tier list, character reviews, all of the guides are back up. If you guys can share the website with your friends, that will mean a lot, since of course we lost basically all the initial traffic. On the first day there were like around 30,000 people on the website, and now there is like 1,000 people or 2,000 people on the website per day. It's a big hit because it was like a really good moment for like a good breakthrough, since no one else was covering the game, but it is what it is. Enough about the website, let's talk about Nightingale and why she is so good. And let's start with the RK1 skills, because she has two skills. So first of all, on the left you'll have an instant single target healing, which will recover 30% HP. Pretty good if you ask me, because it also zero cost and instant, which you can keep acting. But this is even better because Weapon Eroder will deal some damage. We don't care about that, she's not a good DPS, but she will debuff the enemy with attack down 2, meaning the enemy will deal 20% less physical and magical damage. This is really good to help you mitigate big hits from bosses and from enemies, like for example in the tower, those big mutant guys that just one-shot everything. So this is a really good skill and you should pick the right one, Weapon Eroder. When it comes to RK3, we're going to a similar situation. She has a really good passive, which is similar to Angel, where at the end of the turn, she will heal the lowest ally on a 3-tile radius for 20% of her magic attack, which is pretty nice. But we go back into the same thing. She has a skill here, Tranquilizer. Instant skill as well, 2 cost 3 cooldown, which inflicts a sleep on the target for 2 turns. A sleep is so important, guys. We're reaching a point on the tower where if you don't have the buffers, if you don't have characters that can help you out with this type of monsters, you are not getting past them. I'm gonna be trying later again to see if I can get to floor 6, but most people who are getting past floor 6 and 7 are people who, well, either are wells with a lot of dupes, or people who are really good at the game, using a lot of debuffers so they can nitpick what characters they want to attack and abusing the sleep with multiple units. There is multiple characters that have this skill, and this is a really powerful one for this type of content specifically. So sleep, really cool. When it comes to RK5, then we move into the left side, because in here she has a reaction that when hit by an active single target attack, the damage taken is decreased by 30% only once per turn. The alternative is taking 50% less damage over time. The thing with damage over time is that there is only 2 sources in the game, one being Scorch or Burn with the mages, and then the other one being Poison or Infection with the Furies. Both of them are not that common, so it's a little bit more niche. This will be always usable, so I would actually pick Protection of Light. And now we go into RK7, and this is the other exception where instead of going with the debuff, you want to go with the heals. And this is pretty simple. Burning Grenade is not really a debuff skill, it's an AoE burning attack, which depending on your team you might want to take. It's 1 cost 3 cooldown, but this skill, Painkiller, it's really impressive. This is an instant skill that heals the target for 20% HP, grants regeneration 2 and damage reduction 3 for 3 turns. This will help your tanks survive a lot of skills from big enemies. Recover HP by 20% at the end of the turn for 3 turns, and then decrease damage taken by 30%. This is an incredible skill that I would always recommend picking over the Burning Grenade, since she is not a really able DPS overall, right? So that's a really good skill. And then when it comes to RK9, you want to go once again to the right side. The left side, we have a magic damage skill that will increase your healing over the next 2 turns, and then you have the silencing attack, which will deal 80% magical, damage and inflict active skills debuff, so you cannot use any active skills if the enemy is injured, aka below 70% HP for 2 turns. Once again, this is really powerful, not because of their damage, because she will do no damage, but because all of your allies can take advantage of this. When it comes to her build, once again, just use whatever you have available for your weapon, because it doesn't really matter. You could be using something like the Spring Peel as the accessory, since it will actually heal herself and dispel some debuff in case you're in a pitch. This is a really powerful item early game, at least. Late game is not going to be that useful. Or you could be going for something like the Disaster Bottle right here to actually have even more debuffs for the enemy. You can only use twice per battle, which should be more than enough, but you will get a random level 2 attribute debuff, which is once again really strong if you can get that attack or the physical damage down. That's always nice, or even that healing received, since a lot of enemies will have a life leech. So I will say go for something like that. When it comes to the Tarot skill, you could go for something like the Redemption of the Judgment that will at the end of the turn dispel 2 attribute buffs from 1 random enemy in case you are close to the enemy, so because you need to debuff them. You could go as well for something of Curse of Fortune. You could even go, if you wanted, for the shield. I would not recommend it though, or the recovery of extra energy if needed when you're on a standby. Most of the time you are not on a standby with her, but she lacks energy recovery, so this would be pretty good unless you're using on the same team someone like Beryl and you are picking the skill to recover energy with your team, which is this one right here on RK7, recovering some HP and 2 points of energy for all your allies on a range of 1 to 3. That is pretty strong, and that will help your mate spend more abilities, for example in the case of a Nightingale. Now that is what I would personally go for. I am not gonna be yet leveling her up because I'm getting Inanna with the selector tomorrow, but I am gonna be leveling up Lash, Tempest, and maybe Lighting or Ballista. I'm not sure. Do let me know, guys, what characters you want me to be testing low rarity. I don't even mind if it's rare characters. I would not be testing any common unit, at least for now. I don't think it's worth it for anything, but any other rarity for characters you want to test or want me to add into the spreadsheet, please let me know and I will start testing them and working to see how they work. All that said, that's gonna be the video for Nightingale, how to properly build one of the best debuffers in the game right now, so you can take advantage of her for tower and other difficult content. As usual, thank you to my patrons for making this content possible. Love you all, bossos. Good luck with your pool rates. I'll see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。